we would need to have a place with rooms versus a wide open space. So it was not as challenging to start to make the decision because you're wet behind the ears. This is just what I'm
Right.
going to do. The challenges came much later, the real deal.
And what did you do when they came?
Oh my goodness. So, you really, when you say you're an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
I don't take that title lightly. Full time with a brick and mortar, and the fact that what we do is really saving lives, like it's critical. We're a Medi Spa, right? So we accept
Okay.
insurance.
Oh, you too.
We work
Okay.
with the
Nice.
underserved communities, so we're a Medicaid supplier. So we got this fancy place, but there is a connection so that we can reach women who are in these under-resourced areas. And I will tell you, first, initially with COVID, and still having operating expenses, right? Because not every landlord was understanding what was going on. So that first challenge was access to capital. Like,
Right.
what? We're not even open. Where's this money going to come from? And um, o- overcoming some of that challenge was deciding to reach out for help. I needed a mentor. And I was
Okay.
thankful that the SBA had programs in place for mentorship. So that was one. So the challenge was, what do I do? How can I get the support? One, I needed a mentor, and I was given a powerhouse mentor
Oh
for
wow.
a year. Um, and then it came access to capital. I wasn't always to get exactly what I wanted, but I learned how to pitch.
Okay.
And pitching has become, if you're not telling people what you're doing, if you're not in front of people who have money to support what you're doing, then this role becomes extremely hard, because it is hard, period. But it becomes much harder than it has to be. So that I had to learn how to ask for money and not feel bad about asking people for money. You want to give me money. But at the same time, that other challenge was, okay, now you got to get your books and your back office in order
Right.
because you're a compliant medical practice. So it's, I could go on and on and on, but I will say between capital, mentorship, being okay to reach out and ask for help, and then going into a space, I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not. I have business savvy. My
Okay.
background is business marketing and sales, but I have a passion for health and wellness. I'm credentialed
Right.
in health and wellness, but I'm not a clinician,
Right.
right? So that side was a challenge and still is a bit of a challenge, but I've learned how to humble myself and ask for help and be receptive to it.
Okay. How large a staff do you have right now?
So I'm the only full-time person. The
Okay.
goal is to have a full-time program manager on board for January. I'm pitching for her money.
Okay.
We have four coaches. So our prevention program and a lot of what we do outside of the spa sessions is online.
Hmm.
We have an online wellness suite. And
Okay.
who's helping to lead those efforts? We're the only prevention program for Hispanic and Latino women in Maryland. So we have an awesome
Wow.
Dr. Angelina is leading that. And then we are the only prevention program for the deaf and hard of hearing in this entire country. So we
Wow.
have a fantastic coach who's
Hmm.
leading prevention for the deaf. And then we have our awesome Eunice, who is leading the English cohort. She's actually an ambassador for diabetes education. She's on a global scale now,
Hmm.
supporting diabetes education in Africa, but she's here in the States. And
Okay.
then there's Coach V. So we have four coaches. We have a client support specialist that helps us out in person at the spa. And as I mentioned, we're in this growth period. So we'll be onboarding a full time program coordinator for January.
So when someone links up to come through the program, is it like a maybe like a 6 week session, 8 week session? How does the program work?
Hmm. Excellent question, and don't shut the screen off when I tell you that this the prevention program is a year-long virtual program.
Wow.
And you know why? Let me tell you. To prevent, so here's a quick stat: one out of every three adult Americans have prediabetes. 80% don't even know they have it, right? So this prevention piece is big.
Okay.
The reason why it is a year long, because we know we have a very short window if a woman is pre-diabetic from the time she goes from pre-diabetes to type 2. And all of that is not on her. It's the healthcare system, right?
Well,
You
it's
go, you
interesting you should
yeah.
say that because years ago, when I was seeing a provider, and she told me, you're pre-diabetic. But that's all she said. She never said what it was. She never said what to do or what have you. And so years later, after that, when I was finally diagnosed with diabetes, I was asked at that time, had you ever been told that you were pre-diabetic? I said, well, I did have a provider say that to me, but she never explained what it was and what I needed to do. I just thought, okay, I'm not that. So she's just saying, so she never really did. And so that's critical because you hear that verbiage, but you really don't know what it is. And if you got a provider that's not going to explain it to you, you run the risk to be full blown diabetic. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we see it. We see it with what you express, Lani, is what I hear all the time with our clients who are type 2 diabetic. Like, I was borderline, but they didn't tell me that if I did these few things, I wouldn't be type 2.
Right.
That is changing gradually, and we're glad that we're at the forefront of it because that
Okay.
is our mission.
Okay.
But it's 12 months because we need the first 6 months to help you embrace some of these habits,
Okay.
and then the last 6 months is maintenance.
Okay.
So we're going to help you maintain. And the beauty of that 12 months is that we're actually able to see the reversal. So we're able to help at least 67% of our participants reverse
Wow.
prediabetes.
They're great numbers.
They're reversing. So what about diabetes management?
Right.
So the diabetes self-man is we have they're twofold. We're in the process of launching our clinical program, which is the diabetes self management program. If you look it up, it's a national clinical approach
Okay.
to supporting these lifestyle interventions with the support of a dietitian. That program launches uh, early, no, that's late winter 2023. But what have we been doing before even the opportunity to partner and become a clinical provider of that program? Is the Beautifully Well program.
Okay.
That Beautifully Well starts as a 30-day introduction, but it is a 90-day program. So
Okay.
Beautifully Well in 90 days is equally effective, and that is what we have been using since we opened up in 2019 to help women to properly manage chronic illness. It also supports hypertension as
Got me
well.
a book.
So diabetes is our numero uno in terms of you have to have a focus, but let's be realistic. Hypertension is a concern.
Right.
So we are a partner with the Office of Women's Health for self-monitoring, and we are helping our ladies through monitoring efforts, especially with self-care. So you'd be surprised what self-care does to hypertension. We watch our ladies even on a 30-day basis start to lower that average
Mhm.
blood pressure reading changes in 30
Wow.
days, even with just 4 sessions. Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you this question. Have you found that it's effective for diabetics at whatever stage they're in, or is it a window where maybe this person has had it too long and they won't benefit from this? Will it benefit?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. We the This is the beauty of lifestyle medicine. So if you're familiar with lifestyle medicine, even lifestyle interventions, that at the end of the day, physicians, at least the good ones, will say, "Hey, can you eat more veggies?
Okay.
Are you eating throughout the day? Can you move a little bit?" And this is going to help. Those practical steps help no matter what stage of diabetes you're in. And as a matter of fact, our goal is to so think about this, Lene. Diabetes and its connection to kidney disease, right? Renal
Okay.
disease.
Mm-hmm.
When diabetes is not managed, it's not a coincidence that dialysis is in view or that
Okay.
there's damage to the kidneys. But even with a kidney disease diagnosis, it's still going to go back to those lifestyle changes and managing our stress.
Right.
Mhm.
Wow. I'm just blown away because I'm taking off so many boxes in my head. Why this is for me. I mean, really,
Isn't
seriously.
this something?
Yeah, it's really fascinating. I'm like, oh, we will be having a further conversation so that I can investigate this for myself further. But so let me ask you this. Were there any other challenges that you had as an entrepreneur? Like, and I say this because I'm new to the entrepreneurial way of life. Let me put it that way. I'll put it that way. Yeah. And so, like, for some of the issues is that because people don't know what you're doing, they aren't really supportive. They aren't really, and so have you had to deal with that, or because you're so well established that just was never really an issue for you?
I wish. Remember when I said now when I say entrepreneur, I see it so differently. Like there are a lot of people who will tap into that entrepreneur space, but I think hashtag entrepreneur life, it's a beast.
Right.
And it is not for the weak. It's not,
Right.
first of all, your family and your friends will not be there for you like that.
Right.
Not the way you want, me included. No disrespect to my dear loved ones. And, you know, you're going to see this and you're going to say, but what about me? Thank you. But then that means I'm not talking about you. I'm
Right.
talking about as a whole. And it's not just this.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little bit of this, but it's not just this. Um, it's psychological, and guess what? It's okay. It is fine. That is a challenge. It's just one of those challenges I don't let sit too deeply.
Okay.
And that is because it is a norm. If you have a business and everybody's buying enough of your stuff and you haven't gone out to acquire new clients or new customers, then wow, you will probably never get to experience what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur
Right.
because family and close contacts will not sustain your business.
Right.
It's getting out of our comfort zone. It's being okay hearing no.
Right.
Um, and so, yeah, I think at the end of the day, the one thing that I would share that helps me, and I still struggle with it sometimes because I want to help people. So imagine in my space, I have friends and family who are battling illnesses that I have the resources, the ability to help them feel better.
Right.
And they ain't coming. It don't matter. I've been on TV. They don't care. They not coming.
Right. Right.
But um where are the where are my potential clients? So as that entrepreneur, being confident enough about your product, your business, who you are as an entrepreneur, and saying, well, wait a minute, how many new clients am I going to get this week? What is my goal? I'm not stopping until I get 5 new clients. It's a lead flow.
Right.
that's
Okay.
that's what I used to get paid to do in corporate America. I was the lead generator.
Okay.
I went out into the community. I built relationships, I built partnerships, and I brought back prospects.
Okay.
And yet, I'm still working on doing that for me.
Right. Then let me ask you a question. Because I know this takes a lot of your time. Have you ever thought, or maybe you've done it, and about specifically mentoring young women entrepreneurs? That have you ever thought about doing that? Because that's what's in my head. I want some more of your time. I'm telling you. So is that something that you've thought about, or you do, or?
So I will tell you, interestingly enough, if you can remember, I said at the start of the pandemic, I had an amazing mentor. Like
Yes, you
Carmen was
did.
just like, thank you. From a program at Morgan State University, EDEC is their Entrepreneurial Development Center. I'm actually a mentor in that program.
Oh, okay.
And that is a free program to women business owners. I won't start mentoring until January. We got a few things we gotta
Okay.
we're lining up what January looks like, but it is an excellent, excellent, excellent program.
Okay.
But I see that scroll there. The pink out is an opportunity for women in business. Actually, supporting women in business is a passion for mine. It is something that I would do in my sleep, which is why we need the program manager for January so that I
Right.
can begin to do the things that I've learned, the failures I've had. I,
Right.
I love sharing the fails, right?
Hmm.
Because without the fails, you can't rebound and learn from it.
Right.
But to your question, yes, formally through the Women Business Center a month or two down the line, but
Okay.
personally, it is a goal for me to establish a to um, establish. I won't call it an organization or an association, but a way that I can continue to support women in business.
So for a snapshot for now, since we got to wait for that, what are maybe three little nuggets that you would share with young, and when I say young, and that's not necessarily age, but just young into being an entrepreneur that you would share with women today? What's maybe three nuggets you would share?
Oh, I love it. The three things. Whoa, okay. So, first is going to be that C word, that confidence. How confident are you in your product or your service that there is a market for it, right?
Okay.
Because we get real excited about what we want to do. Is there traction? People want this, people want to have it. Just first is that confidence, that
Hmm.
sureness about your product, your service. I'm good, great, yes, Nick. This is packaged. I'm selling, or I will.
Okay.
Second, join a business development program. There are way too many out here that are free. We cannot do
Okay.
this ourselves.
Okay.
We all have great talents. I know, Lanita, there are things you are probably awesome at, and you want to put all that into your business. But a business really needs multiple hands.
Okay.
So, second, and I mentioned the SBA. Go to the SBA site, find a women's business center. They're not the only one. I've been in quite a few business accelerators. I'm in another one. I will not stop joining business accelerators. I'll make time for it. They are free and they're available to you. And I have a few other resources. Check out IW Baltimore as well. Innovation Works. They
Okay.
have three types. So you got a couple of gems there. The third thing, the third nugget is ask for what you need and ask big, right? I'm a giver. Yeah, could I do this for free? Only if I didn't know that I had to pay bills at home. And we shouldn't have to do anything for free, right? That's
Right.
why I have a nonprofit organization, right? I'm not doing diabetes prevention for free. If
Right.
I need to give somebody a scholarship, it's going to have to come from some source, some funder, or our nonprofit. It is
Right.
not free to the organization, it's not free to you as a business. So think about your money flow. My
Okay.
first pitch, I only raised $2,000. It was the first one. I was like, but I have nothing. So if I
But
get two
you
thousand
raised two
dollars, this is
grand.
great,
That was good. Yeah.
right? But what that first pitch did, it linked me to an organization that's been supporting me since May of 2020. And because of that organization, it's actually Kiva. So if you look up Kiva,
Okay.
KIVA, because of that initial decision to jump out there and ask for what I need from a capital perspective, they've helped me connect with other businesses and other partnerships in order to keep growing the ask. Now I'm up to a six-figure ask.
Oh
By
wow.
2024, I'll be up to that several million-dollar ask because
Okay.
it is needed. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's beautiful though, because you can track your growth and see that yeah, you can tell where you are at the amount of ads that you are going for. That's awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they were great nuggets to share. And so those are nuggets for the do's. What are some nuggets for the three nuggets for the don'ts? If you have don't do
Mm.
and like something you've done and you like, okay, let me try to steer you from this one. Save
Oh
you some
my
heartache.
goodness. You are making me my own client. I'm gonna have to do behavior change coaching as soon as we get off of here. I'm gonna say, remember what you told Lani and her audience? Okay, let's implement. Don't, number one, do not do this alone. Do not feel like you entrepreneurship, it is lonely. It is lonely. I'm thankful for the crew that I have, the tribe that I have, and my husband who is beyond supportive. But it is lonely.
Mhm.
Um, we're in our thoughts, we're in our own way at times. But we are. It gets lonely, but we're not alone. So don't trick
Okay.
yourself out into thinking that nobody's going to help me, and I got to figure this all out by myself.
Okay.
Um, the second don't. I'm gonna save that one for the third. So the second don't is don't be afraid to take suggestions, advice, and good criticism. I'll say good criticism, right? Depending on who giving it. Don't be afraid to learn from others. Don't be afraid to be a little bit vulnerable. Now, you don't have to give trade secrets, right? Because some stuff you have to protect. You don't
Right.
have to tell everybody your whole mission, but do not be afraid to open up to get that intellectual support
Okay.
and take some of the advice. If
Right.
if it makes sense, if it's not going to hurt the system, take some advice because we don't know it all. There's
Right.
someone else out there who can help you scale or get past this roadblock if you would just be open enough to help them. And third, always I have to say, don't give up. I don't care how bad the day is. Now, I know people will start a business, stop a business, start a business, stop a business. We're not talking about that type of business because remember, we already said you are confident in your ability to sell your product or your service. You've decided that. So, why would you give up on that? So, number
Right.
three, don't give up. If you got to pause, I believe in that, self care, stress. You got to pause, take some deep breaths, take a moment to kind of reset, fine, but do not give up.
Mm. Wonderful. That's excellent. Now, I know it may sound like we're doing a restart, but I sent you a text. So I'm going to ask you one of the earlier questions I asked because I think initially my record wasn't happening. So, ladies, everybody that's paying attention, I'm going to introduce Nick to you again. This is Nick Sweeney. Nick Sweeney, tell us the name of your business.
Hello, glad to be here on a Pinkhouse. Thank you for the invitation, Lani. I'm Nick Sweeney. Nick is short for Nikia, also known as Coach Nick, and I'm the founder and CEO of Amani Nicol Wellness. We're a holistic wellness spa located in Pikesville.
Great, great. And give us the story again that you had to start. You had to make the decision to start this business right before the pandemic. Tell us that.
Oh yeah, I had to jump, right? How many people say I'm going to jump into entrepreneurship and I'm talking full time? I had already been in the health and wellness space. I've been an entrepreneur from birth, but in April of 2019, I had no choice but to make a serious decision that I could not turn back on. And so in March of 2019, I had colorectal surgery. I was misdiagnosed with colon cancer. And less than a month after my surgery, I was let go from a job that I really enjoyed. But at that moment, I realized that now this thing I had been playing with for the past 3 years, that it was now or never. Because after going through what I went through, I decided that's the reason you need to leave corporate behind
That
and
was
you
your
need to move
why.
on and do you. That
Yeah.
was definitely the why. And so the decision was made to finally opened up Amani Nicol Wellness as a brick and mortar.
Mhm.
And September 2019, we signed a lease for a small uh, three three room office and opened up October 2019, just before the pandemic.
Wow. When that happened, Nick, did you think about, okay, I can't do this? What did you think?
No,
You
my
said,
thought
oh
was,
no.
what are we? My, without ladies, we're helping women with chronic illnesses live better, right? We want them to thrive. We call it Beautifully Well. That's the name of the program, right?
Mhm.
So we were in a quarantine, but health couldn't be. It was needed. And so, interestingly that you said that, I tell you what, we closed our doors, we sent that email letting everybody know what was going on, and I went home trying to figure out, okay, so then what can we give them? How we still going to support them and make money?
Right.
So we were able to take some time to get really clear on how we were integrating the diabetes program.
And what is that phrase you coined about the pivot? What did you call it?
The pandemic pivot to prevention.
Yeah. I think that
Yeah.
you should put that on a t-shirt.
I'm telling you, I need to do that. And because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And that
Mhm.
has helped us to get to where we are. If it wasn't for
Yeah.
that, for implementing diabetes, in the midst of a pandemic, we moved from that little uh, 3 room office suite to a storefront.
Wow.
So things happen, and things can happen quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to show yourself, and it's apparent from just your conversation and what you're saying. You do have to be prepared, though. You got to
Yeah.
show yourself ready, and it's obvious that regardless of the setbacks or the challenges, you've been preparing for this, and so you were ready to deal with whatever way it was going to take you at that time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of entrepreneurs that I talk to, they're really, really big on goal setting. Are you a goal setter?
Mm, mm, mm. Yes. Goal setter, goal getter. Now,
Okay. Oh, I
remember,
love it.
I I'm not perfect in this at all, but in my in corporate America, I was the $1 million lady.
Okay.
Everything I did was centered around the big goal, which was
Mhm.
always millions at the end of the year. So every step I took had to lead to enough lead generation and close sales in order to reach the goals.
Mhm.
So in business, the goals never stop. Do I hit them all? No, but what reminds me that I can is, how hard do we work for a paycheck?
Right.
And that paycheck doesn't even give us an a quarter of what we deserve for our hard work. So when we're working for ourselves, if we don't have goals, and I mean uh written out goals, this look a hot mess. I'm still a paper girl, you
Me
know.
too. Me too.
I love, love, love my paper. I would show you my remarkable tablet. I have a digital note thing that I look at like once every 3 days. But this thing is in my life every single day. You have to have a goal. Two reasons. One, it's not just about achieving it. It's part of that confidence builder when you're having one of those days you want to give up. Then you
Right.
can go, but wait a minute. Look what I did last month. But
Okay.
look what I achieved last year. So those goals not only help us see progress, but they prove to be what
They
we
help you
need
stay the
in order to
course
boost
too. Yeah.
confidence.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. What am I working towards?
Yeah. Oh, this is just awesome. Actually, I want to congratulate you because you are the first entrepreneur segment on the Pink House. Yes. And so
Woo, woo,
this has
woo.
been thrilling. I mean, really thrilling because it's so insightful. It's like your experiences have really primed you for being in a position, not just coaching people about their physical health and wellness, but even for people like me that's trying to break into the entrepreneurial playground. I mean, it's like I just want to absorb the energy that you're sending out about the experiences that you've had because that it's like I know this is somebody I can really learn from. the authenticity, that's what I'm looking for. The authenticity of what you've experienced and what it has helped you to craft to this point is obvious, is evident, And like I told you, the young lady that told me about you, she could not stop. Oh, Lenny, you gotta meet her. You gotta meet her. She just could not stop. And now I know why, because
That is
we don't
awesome.
always see, it's the rarity that we see people of color, women of color, that are just really, really doing it, and doing it with success, and doing it and bringing others with them. And so, on the heels of that, talk about your event that's coming up on Sunday. Tell us about that.
Oh, the pink out is going to be awesome. This is the third pink out. Okay. This is the third one. COVID stopped. In 2019, we had a phenomenal pink out. Our first one was in 2013.
Oh, wow.
And the theme, mocktails and conversations.
I
We
love
are
it.
women in business. So for the most part, we'll be 90% of our attendees are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. And we are not networking, we are relationship building. And here's why,
Okay.
because in 2019, that small group of women entrepreneurs was a powerhouse. That Pink Out in 2019 helped us to build our nonprofit board from the women
Wow.
in attendance. And quite a few of those ladies made connections that they are still connecting. We're talking in business. So the goal of mocktails and conversations is one, to relationship build. We are going to pitch. So for those
And
ladies who are
I done worked
okay,
on my stuff yesterday, girl. After
let me
I
tell
signed
you,
up, I'm ready.
we that 60 seconds, can you tell me with enthusiasm what you do that will cause me to want to learn more? Because I can talk all day, and a lot of times we meet people when we say too much,
Right.
or we don't have a planned speech. And I'm focusing on a pitch for
Hmm.
this particular event because that's how we ask for what we need. And it's not all about money. When you pitch, there may be someone in that room that has a skill or a product or a service that you can benefit from.
Hmm.
And this go round, Lani, I have to say, the two pink outs I did, we would always give honor and bring awareness to breast cancer, those survivors and those who we lost. But this pink out is super special, and I would have never thought that I would be planning a pink out and have my own pink story.
Right.
So it
Right.
is truly going to be a wonderful get together with the goal of not just coming to an event and then you leave and nothing else happens, but that we are actually going to connect together because this is part of how we're building that piece of mentorship and support.
Yeah. So when I saw the promo thing that you sent me and I read it, and then I was like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be here. I was like, and this one was like, are you still accepting me? I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be at this,
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I booked my ride. I'm ready. I'm ready. Yeah. So I'm looking
Whoop,
forward to
whoop.
it. Looking forward to it.
I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to meeting you, and I just know it's going to 6:30 is going to come, and the ladies will say, "It's over already." Oh yeah, we rocking and rolling.
Nick, let me tell you, this has been a treat for me. I know women out there that's listening in the Pink House, I know they will definitely, it'll be a boon and a boost, to their entrepreneurial journey because you might not realize it, but you have shared so much impactful information to really, I mean, it's just made me more committed to what my goals are in relation to my entrepreneurship. And for that, I appreciate you. And so I'm excited that I'm going to be in your presence to really get to rub shoulders and really glean some more from you. But for the Peak House, we thank you. We really appreciate your time and appreciate the efforts that you're making and the strides for people like me with diabetes. You also talked about my other one, hypertension, and so those are things that I really, like I said, need the help with. And now I know where to go to get that help. And so for that, I thank you for sharing your story. And you're welcome here at the Pink House anytime. And so,
Yes, I will be
yeah,
back. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, thank you so much, honey. It's been a pleasure. Get back to the rest of your day, and I can't wait to see you on Sunday.
Yes, see you Sunday, and thank you again. It's been fabulous.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.